Banu, and today I represent our TargetCall, which was dedicated to requiring some innovation. Our motivation in this work is that basecalling consumes up to 84.2% of the total execution time in nanopore sequence analysis, and it becomes a major computation overhead for the pipeline. And what we observe is that much of this computation is wasted because majority of the reads are discarded after basecalling. Our goal is to make this wasted computation while maintaining high accuracy, scalability, and adaptability. For this, we have the idea of applying a basecalling filter that will disregard most of the useful reads with high sensitivity and accuracy. We propose TargetCall for this, which works in two steps. First, it uses LightCall, it's a lightweight basecaller to perform only basecalling with high performance. And second, it uses selective to compare the noise reads to the reference genome we have to determine or predict if the read is going to be useful. Our results show that we can improve the end-time basecalling performance by 3.2x by filtering out majority of the user's reads with high sensitivity. And when we compare it to the state-of-the-art target sequencing approaches, we show that TargetCall achieves better recall, precision, throughput, and performance. Okay, let's start with our background. Genome sequence analysis enables us to determine the DNA sequence of an organism, and it's important for areas such as precision medicine, outbreak tracing, understanding of evolution. Nanopore sequencing is one sequencing technology that enables us to do genome sequencing, and it produces long reads with tens of kilometers base length, with high throughput and low cost. The traditional nanopore sequence analysis pipeline starts with genome sequencing, where we convert the DNA fragments into raw electrical signals. And these raw electrical signals are converted to a set of bases called as reads during basecalling. The common next step is to perform read mapping, where we match these reads to the reference genome to predict or to know if the read is going to match to the reference. And we show that, our prior studies show that this step can take, the basecalling step can take up to 84.2% of the total execution time, while the remaining downstream analysis takes less than 16%. Now we conclude that basecalling is a major computation overhead for the pipeline, and that's why we want to actually speed it up. But our key observation is that what worsens this situation is, in many applications, majority of this computation is wasted because the reads are discarded after basecalling. One such application is SARS-CoV-2 genome assembly, where less than 1% of reads are useful, meaning not discarded after basecalling, even though the entire dataset is processed fully during basecalling. And the common reason why 99% of the reads are useless is they do not match the reference genome that is targeted particularly by this application. So key takeaway is basecalling wastes significant useless reads, wastes significant amount of basecalling computation in the traditional nanopore sequence analysis pipeline. And we have an alternative for this, which is targeted sequencing. Unlike traditional pipeline where we sequence all reads individually and send them to the next step, which is basecalling, in targeted sequencing we perform sequencing selectively on non-useful reads. And this is enabled by a functionality of the nanopore sequencer that enables the sequencer to stop or reject the read from the nanopore during sequencing. So in targeted sequencing, the reads that are not accepted by the filter, that are rejected by the filter, are discarded from the nanopore during sequencing, and the reads that are accepted are fully sequenced and sent to the basecalling step. But this method requires a method to identify which reads are useful and which reads are useless. And we identify that current methods to identify which reads are useful. These are not the limitations of the targeted sequencing, but the limitations of the tools that are from targeted sequencing suffer from at least one of the three following key shortcomings. First, they have low sensitivity, and they also reject many useful reads. Or they have poor scalability in the sense that the performance and accuracy of these tools will drop significantly as we increase the reference genome size. Or they will have lack of adaptability, meaning that you won't be able to use these tools as is for each kind of genome analysis you want to perform. And mainly this is because they use neural network classifiers to classify which reads are useful and useless, and you would need to retrain all the models again for the target genome analysis that you have, or like for each different read set and each reference to use. Now, our conclusion is that current targeted sequencing methods are not robust solutions for eliminating basic computation in basecalling. And our goal is to eliminate this basic computation, but unlike other tools, we want to maintain high sensitivity in keeping useful reads. We want to be scalable to large reference genomes. We want to be adaptable to different use cases without further like pre-based or without further training or any kind of So I want to explain what's the pre-basecalling filter, but let's first remember what were our options. So traditional pipeline, we sequence and basecall everything. In target sequence, we sequence selectively, but then we basecall everything that is sequenced by the sequencer. What we propose is to do the selection before basecalling and selectively basecall only the useful bits. So this is different from traditional pipeline because we don't do basecalling from everything. This is different from targeted sequencing because we do sequence everything and then we do the selection or the filtering after sequencing is fully performed, not during sequencing. And this enables us to change the problem because if you are doing something online, something during sequencing, you only have access to only like the initial portions of the raw signal. But if you are doing offline after sequencing, you have access to the entire read, which enables you to gain more information on the raw electrical signals before you perform filtering. So for this task, we just prepare or just put a filter between the sequencing and basecalling steps. And this filter needs to identify which trees are useful and which trees are useless using the entire raw electrical signals coming from the nanopore sequencing. And the filter should stop the analysis of useless trees and should forward the useful reads to the basecaller. So the high-level goal of TargetCall is to determine if the read is going to be useful for you after your basecall. And it does so with two steps. First, it uses LightCall, it's a noisy basecaller, and it performs noisy basecalling on raw electrical signals, the entire signal coming from the nanopore sequence. And then it compares it to the reference genome that is of interest by application to predict if the read is going to be useful. And if so, it stops the analysis of, if not so, it stops the analysis of the user's reads. And otherwise, it forwards the reads to the basecaller so that we maintain the basecalling accuracy for the useful reads. And in the overview, TargetCall has high sensitivity because it has a highly accurate similarity check component. It's good scalability because the performance of the LightCall architecture is going to be independent of the reference genome size, and it's going to be adaptable to different use cases because the model of LightCall is going to be generic across use cases, meaning it doesn't need to be retrained. And our conclusion is that TargetCall is a robust solution for any basic computation case. Now let's check different components of TargetCall. Our first component is LightCall. It's a lightweight basecaller with a simpler neural network model that performs noisy basecalling. So the reads are noisy compared to the reads that are basecalled by the state-of-the-art basecallers, but they are still highly accurate. And we perform this simplification, or we design LightCall by simplifying the state-of-the-art basecaller model architectures. And we perform this simplification in a way that we increase the performance of basecalling significantly, but we still maintain most, if not all, of the basecalling accuracy benefits of these complex neural network architectures we have for the state-of-the-art basecallers. And we have a three-step approach for doing this. First, we reduce the channel size of convolution layers, and then we remove the skip connections, and finally, we reduce the number of basic convolutional blocks. And the final LightCall architecture we have is a series of convolutional blocks, repeated convolutional blocks, where each block has one or two units that include group convolution, pointwise convolution, weight normalization, and little units. Our second component is similarity check that compares this noisy read to the reference genome we have that is determined by the target genome analysis that we want to do, and it just tries to determine if these two things are similar. And depending on the answer, it labels the read as either useful or useless. And this problem is very similar to the read mapping problem that we mentioned, and that's why we use the state-of-the-art read mapper in Map 2 for this problem. And when we combine LightCall with similarity check, so when we use Minimap 2 for the noise reads coming from LightCall, we show that we can achieve up to 99.45% sensitivity in keeping useful reads. And we show later that this is good enough because the 0.5% of the loss of useful reads can be tolerated with high sequencing depth of coverage. We have three use cases so that we show how scalable and adaptable TargetCall is. And the first use case is to detect COVID reference or COVID genomes, COVID reads among the COVID and human samples by mapping them or by checking the similarity of these to a small COVID reference genome. So anything that is similar to the reference genome we have is going to be labeled as useful. Our next use case has the same spirit, but now our reference genome is complex. So instead of one viral strain, it has reference genomes of multiple viral species. And the final use case is a bit different, where we have the human reference genome as the reference scalable to large reference genomes with this specific use case. And this is also different than the prior ones because now we want to base call every bacterial breed. And that's why you cannot compare it against a specific bacterial reference genome. And what we do is that we just remove the human ones from the data set. So anything that is similar to the reference genome in this use case is filtered out, is labeled as users unlike the previous ones. We have two sets of experiments where we just show the benefits of TargetCall. And the first is to show the benefits of pre-basecalling filtering in general, meaning how much basecalling speed up we can get with TargetCall. But when we compare Bonito, this and by the way, but the font size are here. When we compare Bonito and TargetCall plus Bonito, when we use TargetCall to eliminate user streets, how much basecalling speed up we can get. And next we compare it against targeted sequencing approaches, Alkan and Singh, where we repurpose these mechanisms so that we perform pre-basecalling filtering with the labeling mechanisms of these two tools, Alkan and Singh, and then perform Bonito basecalling, full basecalling only on the useful leads. And we evaluate the execution time, recall and precision of these three different configurations. We have various data sets, 5 different data sets from various organisms. 4 of them are samples from prior work, 1 is simulated using the simulator. But we open source everything, so anyone can reproduce our results. And we have 4 different reference genomes with various reference genome sizes and the ratio of those profiles. To evaluate TargetCall, we have a system with NVIDIA 100 and Python GPUs for the LightCall component. And we have an AMD CPU with 0.2 terabyte main memory for the single-chip component. We have a different system for Sigma and Uncode where we have 1 terabyte memory because Sigma and Uncode require more memory than we have in the first system for the large reference genomes we tested. And this is already significantly high memory, 0.2 terabyte, and even this is not enough for Sigma and Uncode. Okay, let's take the basecalling speed up we can get. And if you compare full basecalling with the filtered basecalling, where TargetCall execution time refers to both filtering time and the basecalling time of the useful reads, on average we observe that we can achieve up to 3.3x speed up over Bonito. We compare TargetCall against prior works, Uncode and Sigma, and we compare the performance, we see that on average we can get up to 9.7 better performance compared to prior tools. And more importantly, if we compare the performance of these tools for large reference genomes, we show that the performance benefits of TargetCall is even more significant, where we have 13.3x better performance than Sigma, and we were even unable to compare it against Uncode because Uncode couldn't even generate the index properly, even though we had 1 terabyte system for this specific reference genome. Next, we compare the recall, the ratio of useful leads that pass the filter, and we show that first, TargetCall's recall is more than 99%, and second, its recall is much better than prior tools, and third, when we compare the recall with large reference genomes, we show that the recall benefits of TargetCall is again better than the performance benefits of TargetCall for the large reference genome, and on average we have 50% better recall than prior tools. The last thing to realize for recall is that for sepsis use case, we don't really measure the recall of these tools for determining the human race or finding the human race in the sample. And we were curious what would be the recall if we swap the experiment and we have the large reference genome that's human, what would be the recall to find the human race in the sample? And we showed that Sigma and Uncode will have recall only between 43%, where TargetCall provides more than 96% recall for the same scenario. We show that TargetCall consistently provides high recall for all reference genome sizes and all type of difference we tested. And finally, we compare the precision of these tools, and here precision refers to the ratio of useful reads among all reads that pass the filter. And first, we observe that our precision is quite high, more than 92% for filtering. And next, we show that on average, our precision is more than 60 or approximately 60% better compared to these tools on average. Okay, we have more details in the paper about details of targeted sequencing, different LightCall designs we have, evaluation methodology, and more results such as the analysis of different LightCall architectures we use in terms of their basecalling speed up, recall, and precision, and how we formalize the TargetCall design, the end-to-end accuracy and performance analysis across the entire genome sequence analysis pipeline, including variant calling, our throughput comparison against Sigma and Uncode. Actually, this time we only use LightCall, but we show that our throughput can be more than 1100x better, which shows that we can use TargetCall as a real-time our paper for more detail. And we also open source our implementation, our evaluation scripts, as well as our data sets in our Nika page. Let me conclude by reminding you what TargetCall is, which is an accurate, scalable, and adaptable pre-base calling filter that works in two steps. First, it performs a lightweight base calling on low electrical signals to compute noisy bits, and then second, it compares these noises to the reference genome to determine if the bit is useful. Our evaluations show that we can get significant base calling speed up with this configuration by filtering a majority of the user streams, and it will achieve better recall, performance, precision, and throughput than prior targeted sequencing tools if we were to repurpose them as pre-base calling filters without noise.